Hey everyone, welcome back to Rainbow Tarot. Really hope you're all doing well. Big thanks, as I always say, to any subscribers and also any new people that are tuning into my channel for the first time. It's lovely to have you. So today's reading, we are looking, aren't we? Will this connection, whatever this connection is for you, will it ever become like a committed relationship? And as usual, I've got my 3 piles, and I've used today, a card in the tarot deck called the Ace of Cups, and I've used 3 different depictions of that. So this is pile number 1, and that's from the Mermaid Tarot deck with the green heart there. This is the second depiction of the Ace of Cups with the silver, and then the third one, the Morgan Greer, with the blue heart. So as usual, just take a moment, go for the pile that's calling to you, that's probably got the messages, just to remind you it's a general reading, like I always say. So lots of people hopefully will be listening to it, so maybe some messages don't resonate with you. You never have to take a message that doesn't resonate with you. If you're not happy, you can pick another pile. Sometimes I know that when I have readings, I might look at more than one pile, or I might go to another reading if something hasn't resonated with me. So just take that in mind and be okay with that. And it's a timeless reading, so it's good for whenever you're finding it. But other than that, I'll see you in your reading. Bye for now. Hey, pile number 1, and welcome back to your reading. So today you chose to come into the reading the little green heart. I'm just going to put that there. And we also, had the Ace of Cups, didn't we? And you chose the kind of mermaid deck. I think it's the mermaid deck, that one. And I also pre-shuffled some oracle cards just to sort of bring us into the reading. So today we're looking at, aren't we, this connection, whatever this connection is for you, is it ever going to become a committed relationship? So let's have a look and see what we've got. So we've got, so the first one we've got is New Moon in Libra, and it says a new romantic cycle begins. Right, okay, so that looks quite good. Let's see what the others are. So this one is death. So obviously that's death and rebirth, so endings in some way, and rebirth, renewal. So let's put that one there. And then the next one, now for some reason your pile had 2 of these oracle cards, which is that kind of the Prism Oracle deck. And this one is creativity. So what I'm feeling straight away in this is, because obviously creativity is, when you create something, you bring something into being, don't you? So it feels to me like there's something around this connection around endings and beginnings. So something ending and new beginnings. It also has the new romantic cycle begins. So maybe this is a situation where something has to end in order for something new to begin. But it feels like that endings and new beginnings are sort of like interlinked in some way around this connection. Now, this is New Moon in Libra. Now, Libra is all about love, harmony, relationships, and particularly sort of balance, really. And it also, it's about it's kind of got a bit of a give and take kind of energy, really, and compromising, and a need for compromising to get that kind of balance. And it also talks about the start of something, or the restart of something. So that would go with the whole kind of death and rebirth thing, really, wouldn't it? It's a great energy for sort of talking things through. So maybe this is a situation where, you need to just be mindful of talking things through, about always trying to create a balance in this situation, about being open to compromise. But it does have, a good feel for partnerships, really, like I say, for love, for relationships, for happiness. But it kind of hinges on things being balanced and both parties compromising to get to kind of where they want to be. And it does also, with the scales as well, sort of death sort of, death and birth. There seems to be this kind of scale situation going on in all of the oracle cards here, apart from the Ace of Cups, where things need to be balanced. And maybe it's a situation that needs a lot of balancing out, or things need to be balanced out, or there needs to be a lot of compromise in the situation, or a lot of give and take in the situation. But essentially there is this kind of feeling of, with Libra and with a new moon, often new moons are about, a new clean slate. So about either starting something new, for some of you this might be quite good around starting a new situation where something has to be released in order for that to happen, or restarting something, and kind of maybe it's an ex situation that you're thinking about, or someone that you've had an involvement with before, and it's like a restart of it. And it might require, some sort of create. The other thing is I'm thinking, because there's quite a lot of purple here, as purple is in this and in this, there's quite a lot of, the colours all go very well together actually. So there's quite a lot of purple, which makes me feel in some way that this might be quite a sort of spiritual connection in a way, or there might be some sort of divine link or something like that going on, because it reminds me of the sort of crown chakra. But anyway, let's draw out some cards and see. So, will this, go use this one, these ones. So will pile number one and their person, will that relationship, will they have, will it turn into a committed relationship? Will it turn into a committed relationship? Please can we have some cards? Will pile number one and their person's relationship become, or connection, become a committed relationship? Now I was feeling that one. Oh, so that's a Page of Cups. Will pile number one and their person's connection become, the Sun, it's looking good so far. Seven of Swords, okay. Let's see what this one says. Ace of Wands, okay. Will pile number one and their person become a committed relationship? I feel like this one. Four of Queens, or Pentacles. Knight of Wands. Eight of Wands. There's a lot of fast energy here. What pile number one and their person have or move into a committed? And I feel like this one, I wasn't going to do that one. Oh, okay. I wasn't going to do that one, but it kind of seemed to want to come out, and that is the Six of Cups. And this one seems to want to come out as well, which is the Two of Cups. Okay. So what's at the bottom of the deck? The High Priestess. Okay. So let's have a look here. So, I mean, what I would say is in this situation, that I think your person definitely wants to have, a committed situation with you, because right at the end of both lines we have the Six of Cups, and underneath that we have the Two of Cups. So to me, and it's a bit like what I was saying about before, about a divine connection, I really felt that with the purple, because the Six of Cups is, and this could be for some of you, the restart of something from, you might be thinking, for some of you might be thinking about somebody that you've already had a connection with, so this might be like an ex situation, because the Six of Cups is just a beautiful, loving energy, but there's a lot of nostalgia attached to it, a lot of history attached to it, and also with the Two of Cups underneath it. So the Two of Cups is about a beautiful, loving relationship, but it often has a friendship, a firm foundation of a friendship underpinning it, so it gives it a sense of history as well. And so I'm feeling that for some of you, this might be somebody that you're asking about, an ex or somebody from the past, or somebody that you've had maybe a long connection with already, but maybe hasn't moved into that kind of commitment stage, or something like that, or it's a friend that you're asking about where the boundaries are a little bit blurred, or something like that, where there is a sort of sense of history for some of you. And it feels to me that this person sees you in a very, very, very significant way, because these two together, it talks about a really beautiful, loving, so it's not just a relationship that's built on attraction and lust, although there is quite a lot of that there. It has a very firm, it feels like it has a kind of firm foundation, a sense of history to it, a sense of something concrete and solid underpinning it, and a sort of love. It does feel like a love to it, and because it says, I'm just being drawn again to a new romantic cycle begins, it makes me feel that you might be thinking about, with the death card and creativity, you know, death and rebirth, that this could be about something that you that you're thinking about from someone from the past, but the overriding energy is the High Priestess, which is a sense of things not being out in the open, or things not being kind of revealed, or maybe a little bit secret, a little bit clandestine, because the High Priestess is all about that. She's kind of like an inner card, also very intuitive. So maybe intuitively there is this kind of soul connection, this strong connection between the two of you, that you have this kind of like link between the two of you, but for whatever reason it might not be kind of out in the open, or maybe you haven't declared, it's an ex situation, or it's a situation where it's a friend or somebody that you've known for a long time, or even if you haven't actually known them for a long time, but you feel like there's this kind of strong, maybe like a strong kind of connection, a soulmate type connection with the Six of Cups here, but it isn't yet properly revealed, or the overriding energy of the connection at the moment is things haven't really been properly discussed or brought out into the open or acknowledged in some way. But certainly I would say that there is this, with the Page of Cups here, this desire for a new kind of romantic beginning, that that they're seeing it in a kind of very optimistic way. Now, my only kind of thing for you is really, or to be aware of, is that we do have right in the middle of it the Seven of Swords, which is a little bit of a tricky energy. So it might be that if this is somebody that you've been involved with before, and there has been some sort of issues there, or some dishonesty, or someone behaving in a way that wasn't quite right the first time around, or there's some red flags or something like that. I think the reading is just saying, for you to be aware of that still. So that energy is something that is still kind of around a little bit. Again, it goes with the sort of High Priestess. So maybe this situation is something where it's a clandestine or a secret connection, where it can't fully come into being, but it has been a relationship. But there's an element of so that might kind of explain this kind of element of deceit possibly around it, or things being hidden in some way, or things not being upfront and out in the open in some way. But around that we have this, we've got an Ace here as well, which is a new beginning. So I think this person, definitely wants that new beginning with you. And I certainly feel that it's definitely there for you with the Six of Cups and with the Two of Cups. I really do, because, to end both rows on those two cards right underneath each other, my sense is that is definitely going to come to pass. Because here, with the Page of Cups here, which is about a new beginning, somebody might be feeling a little bit stuck in the status quo of a situation. So there may be a little bit stuckness, which is why you might be asking this question, because you might be thinking, well, we're not moving forward. I want there to be a new beginning to our relationship, or a restart of our relationship, or for our relationship to move on and develop. But there's this stuckness, and I think maybe with one of you, or possibly with the other person, they're kind of stuck in a status quo situation. So there's this kind of energy, this Four of Coins energy, is about somebody who is very focused on keeping everything, particularly material, close to them, keeping everything close to them, not wanting to change. So there might have been a bit of stuckness in shifting and moving forward, and that might have been a bit frustrating for you, pile number one. But certainly with the Knight of Wands right next to the Ace, the Eight of Wands, this is fast moving energy. So my feeling is that if you are talking about a next situation where there were difficulties and issues, it's not to still be aware of those, but I think this person does want to move on from that. They do want to move forward, because underneath that we've got the Eight of Wands. And the Eight of Wands is kind of like, because sometimes the Seven of Swords can also mean sort of scattered thinking, not being clear in your thinking. But the Eight of Wands right underneath it is about, all the wands are going in exactly the same way. They have got a very clear path and focus, really. So I'm feeling that this person, if they might have been like if they were a little bit scattered or not really very committed or sort of all over the place, or they were always kind of like maybe pulling the rug from under your feet, and you never really knew what was, they were kind of what's the word, inconsistent. My sense is now that they want to change that, and they want to be very consistent and straight and move forward in a direct way. Now, it might take strength, because we have the Strength card here, so maybe this is a situation, particularly when we've got the Death card and the new beginnings, all those changes, because change and transformation, can often, although is often, the right way for us going forward, it can be very disruptive. And I'm sensing that with the Ace of Wands, this brand new, exciting, passionate beginning, there needs to be some strength in the situation. So there needs to be, some sort of, in order for it to come about, there needs to be a sense of strength, really, and determination, and that would go with the Eight of Wands as well, kind of determined, focused. But I feel like that they feel, certainly from their point of view, that they have got that they want that now, and that they just see you as this kind of like soulmate connection, this person that they have a very beautiful, loving connection with. But there's a lot of passion with the Knight of Wands and the Eight of Wands. There's a lot of physical chemistry and attraction. So my sense is, because we have these two cards at the end here, that they definitely want a new beginning with you, a new start with you, or a beginning and a start with you in a more I would say in a more committed way, with the Page of Cups here. So it's not, because we've got the Six of Cups, the Two of Cups, the Page of Cups, it's not about, just about lust and attraction. And I do feel that they do want that at their heart. They do want to bring this into being, and for it to be a more committed situation. But I'm just letting you know that this Seven of Swords here is still an energy that is around. So maybe there's a need for at the moment for it still to remain, for it to remain secret with the High Priestess here. But in terms of them wanting for it to be a committed relationship, I would say definitely yes. And I feel that with these two cards, that is, I feel that is definitely something that is going to happen. But it does mean the break of something else, a breakdown of something else. Something else needs to break down. Something else needs to be let go of. There might have been some resistance to that, but I feel that right after the resistance, we have the Knight of Wands, we have the Eight of we have the Eight of Wands, we have the Strength card, and we have the Two of Cups, which is your final card, which is this beautiful union between the two of you. So I do feel that this resistance, if there has been it in the past, it will be overcome. But anyway, in terms of astrological signs, what we are seeing here, with the Seven of Swords, we've got Aquarius energy. With the Six of Cups, we have got Scorpio energy. Obviously we've got Leo energy here. Two of Cups, we've got Cancer. Four of Pentacles is kind of like Capricorn energy. Obviously Leo energy with the Sun there as well. We've also got Eight of Wands. Now what does that give us? Eight of Wands, which is kind of like a fire energy, isn't it? So I would say that again is kind of like a Sagittarius energy. So those are some of the astrological signs that we're seeing for you. But anyway, let's see if we've got some messages here for you for pile number 1. So what messages have we got for the connection between pile number 1 and their person, around whether this is, around this committed relationship? What messages have we got? I feel like it's that one. Oh, okay, so this is why it goes with the Seven of, so this one says deception. Someone is wearing a false self-mask in this relationship, and that's why we've got the Seven of Swords here. So it might be, as I said, for some of you, there's a little bit, and with the High Priestess, that this could be a pile for some of you where there's a little bit of, it's like a clandestine situation. So something, it could be a three-way situation, something like that, where someone has to, if someone is, feeling like they are not either being honest you know, they're having to wear a mask. Like I say, they're having to wear a mask, and that could be why we have the Seven of Swords here. But in terms of you and them, my sense is that with these two cards here, the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups, that you know, the new beginning relates to, you know, you and them coming together. But it might be that they need to get rid of something else that they're also involved in order for that new beginning to emerge, and that is meaning that currently they are kind of wearing a little bit of a mask here. But anyway, let's see what else we've got. Yeah, so it's there. Let me just see. So it is there. I mean, it could have been as well, you know, that there is some trust. If this is about an ex situation, that you're still not, that you're still, you know, that you still feel a connection to, and you're wondering about whether it's going to restart. But there are some issues here. Again, it's a bit like what I was saying before, you know, there might be just a few kind of red flags from the past that you might want to still be aware of, so that if it is about a restarting of something, and I do feel this person does want to restart and that you will restart with them, that you need to kind of be wary of that, pile number one, and to make them really prove to you, you know, over time, that they are somebody that can be trusted and that you can rely on, and that somebody who's going to give you a solid, committed situation here. I would say with these two cards here, you know, the Six of Cups and the Two of Cups, that there's a very, they see it as a very strong foundation, a strong loving bond between you. But if you've got any reservations, then I would just say, you know, that you need to take your time with the situation and make sure that they give you concrete action to back up their words. But anyway, let's see what else we've got here. This one says, worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Now that would go, wouldn't it, with what I said before about the High Priestess, where somehow this situation is clandestine, it's sort of under wraps, it's not open, it's not out in the open, because it's possibly not the right time. And that might be why we have this deception card here, because, you know, someone is in a situation, and not that I'm in any way you know, there could be lots of reasons as to why people feel they need to, you know, wear a mask or deceive in whatever way. But what I'm saying is that might be why this person is not quite ready maybe to leave a situation at this particular moment in time. But in terms of down the track, I certainly feel that that is coming, you know, towards you with the Six of Cups and with the Two of Cups. But at the moment, you know, with the High Priestess, it's still very much you know, sort of like under the radar a little bit. But this card is saying, you know, it's a divine timing issue, so it will come to the fore when it's the right time. Let's have one more card for pile number one and their person's situation. One more card. What does this say? Oh, so this one says, this is interesting, I don't normally get this one. So this says religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So that might be a very specific message for some people. So I'm just going to leave that there, and I'm going to have one more. Card for pile number one and their person about this connection, becoming committed. And this one says, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So again, this might be for some of you where you know, this is a new relationship for you, or it's a relationship where you've known them, like I said, maybe it's a friend or a connection that you have, you know, a flirtation or a little bit of a attraction or something like that. And it's about getting to know each other. So as you get to know them, so maybe that's why we've got the High Priestess card here. It's about, you know, needing to, you know, still in that process of getting to know each other, getting in a little bit closer, revealing a little bit more about each other. And as you do that, the bond will deepen. But I think from this pile, what I would say is, whether it's an ex, whether it's an attraction, anything like that, that it's definitely a situation where I do feel it will move into a more committed relationship. There might be some factors here that you need to just be aware of, be mindful of. So maybe just take your time, and a bit like this card says, you know, get to know each other again if it's an ex, or get to know each other properly, fully. Lots of open and frank discussions and you know, conversations. and to kind of just make sure that they, you know, that they work to prove themselves, pile number one. But it is, on the whole, I think, really looking good. But anyway, pile number one, that has been your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have, then please do press the you know, the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be alerted to whenever I do my next reading. But other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now. Hey, pile number two, and welcome to your reading. So, you know, we all three piles had the Ace of Cups. This is your Ace of Cups that I'm just going to put there. Actually, I'll put it there so I can see it. You also had this little silver, beautiful little silver heart. And today's reading we are looking at, aren't we? I've also pre-shuffled some of the oracle cards, and today we're looking at, aren't we? You know, is this connection that you are thinking about? Is it actually going to turn into a committed relationship? So let's first of all have a look at our oracle cards. Just so it's a general reading. So again, just to remind you, you know, just take what messages resonate with you. You never have to take a message that isn't right for you. And also, you know, it's good for whenever you're finding it. And if you feel at any point you want to subscribe, then please do. That would really help you out with the channel in its growth. But anyway, let's see what we've got here. So we've got, okay, so this is New Moon in Aquarius, and it says bring love into the situation. Okay, so new moons are always kind of new starts, wiping the slate clean. With bring love into the situation, so maybe this is a situation where, you know, maybe there is some disharmony in some way, and it needs to be kind of balanced out. Or some love needs to be brought into it. Let's see. I mean, this card does often talk about sort of change coming, really. Aquarius is about sort of progress and modernity and moving forward. Sometimes it can mean moving forward in an independent way, but anyway, let's see what else comes up. So, but it can be about, you know, just realising that kind of change is coming, and it's about needing to let go of the past and move forward, you know, not looking back. And, you know, it could also be about, you know, with the bring love into the situation, about bringing some sort of self-love into the situation maybe. But anyway, let's have a look and see what this one is. Okay, so this is strength here. So this card is, you know, talking, isn't it? You know, the strength card is about sort of digging deep, really, tapping into your strength to kind of get through something. You've got the strength. It's telling you really in this card, you know, that you've got the strength to overcome whatever it is that you know, whatever situation you are going through. So maybe in this connection there's been a little bit of strife, or a little bit of difficulty, or a little bit of a problem. Maybe there's been a lot of maybe there's been a lot of you know, kind of issues, and it's required a lot of strength. Maybe there's a little bit of tension, like I say, and maybe you're thinking, you know, maybe it's a kind of make or break for you. Maybe you're thinking, you know, is this, if this isn't going to turn into a committed partnership, you know, is it worth hanging on to? Is it worth holding on to? I'm kind of getting that kind of feeling in this kind of with this pile in particular. But I think what it's saying with this particular oracle card is that there is change. What you can rely on is that change is coming, really, and it's something about needing to move forward now, needing to move forward in a positive way. But anyway, let's see. Okay, so can you please tell me, we've got two cards straight away there. We've got Justice, and we've got the King of Pentacles. Oh, and that one seems to want to come out as well, which is the Moon card with the Ace. Oh, that's interesting. So the Ace of Cups has come out there. So we've got two Aces of Cups now. Okay. That is pile number two's connection ever going to become a relationship? Is pile number two's connection ever going to actually become a committed relationship? So we have the Two of Swords, alright. I feel that one wants to come out, which is the Strength. Oh, that's interesting. So Strength has come out again. Well, that's So you've got the Strength coming out and you've got the Ace of Cups coming out. Okay. So is part number 2's relationship or connection ever going to become a committed relationship? So we've got the Queen of Swords here. And we've got Temperance, which is balance. Okay. And underneath, okay, we've got the 10 of Pentacles here. So what I'm feeling here is that that something is, I feel like you're, in this particular pile, that you are talking about somebody that you kind of have, you know, it's not like a crush or anything like that. It just feels to me like it's someone that you feel like you've had a connection with, or you've got a bit of a relationship, but it's not a properly committed relationship. And that something has happened, or maybe it's something that is, there's been some sort of deceit, or there's been some sort of deception, or some things are hidden. It might be a little bit of a clandestine thing or a secret thing, because we've got the Moon card here and we've got the Queen of Swords underneath. So I feel like someone, and that might be why we have the Strength card and the Bring Love into the situation, there's, you know, there's tension. I feel like there is a bit of tension in this particular pile, and it might be something around, you know, that you've been in a situation with this person and it's been, you know, there hasn't been a proper commitment to it. It hasn't been, maybe it's been a bit wishy-washy, or it hasn't, you know, this person hasn't properly shown you, maybe they haven't properly shown you the respect that you deserve, or they haven't properly given you the time that you deserve, and you're kind of like a bit, because I feel like with someone's feeling a little bit closed off emotionally, it comes directly underneath the Moon, whereby, you know, there might have been something is hidden, something is not out in the open, something is, you know, there's some sort of deception. Or so it could be for some of you that, you know, you've been in this situation, it hasn't properly been acknowledged as a relationship for whatever reason, and that has caused you to feel, well, closed off at the moment. So you might be in separation from this person, or certainly emotionally closed off from them because of this, really. Because we also have, you know, the Two of Swords coming directly under the Justice card. So someone in this situation feels that now is the time for things to be made right, for this situation to be made right, for fairness to be brought into the situation, for commitment to be brought into the situation. So I feel like with this pile, you know, there is a feeling that, you know, maybe you've been with this person, but there hasn't been this commitment. It might be a relationship, but it isn't a properly, or you don't feel like it's a properly committed relationship, and that is what you want with the Justice card here. But there's this kind of like Two of Swords underneath it, where, you know, again, there's this wanting this commitment, but there's this kind of like non-committal energy to it. So it makes me feel that, you know, you are sort of wanting, you are actually wanting to commit, you know, to commit to this person. You're wanting them to commit, but they're still sort of giving you this kind of non-committal energy. I mean, my sense is that, you know, I think they do, this person with the Ace of Cups coming out twice, they do definitely feel a strong love and attraction to you. There is this kind of desire, if you like, for, with the Ace of Cups twice, for a new beginning in love. Yeah, there is a desire for that, to bring something forward and for there to be balance, because actually you've got Justice, which can often mean balance, and then you've got Temperance that can mean balance. So I do feel that they definitely want that, but I just feel that the relationship is a little bit testing at the moment, because somebody has, I just feel like somebody's a little bit peeved that things have not been properly acknowledged or brought out into the open. And I think that might be you, Pile 2, and you might be absolutely right to feel that way. That might be causing you to have to feel like, with the Strength card coming up twice, that you need to really draw on your strength to get through this situation, that you sort of like, but what I would say is that you do, what I'm feeling intuitively is that you do have the moral high ground here, and that's kind of what I want to say here. I feel like you've, you know, if you have had to put up with, you might have had to put up with quite a lot in this situation, and that you've probably handled yourself really well, and that you probably do have a lot of internal strength, actually. I mean, this person that you're involved with might be somebody that's, like I say, involved elsewhere in some way. There might be a bit of a three-way situation here. But I think the overall energy is the 10 of Pentacles. So I would say that there is a desire for this situation to become more committed, because the Ten of Pentacles is like a committed energy in terms of, in a sort of quite a traditional way, I suppose. So in terms of being, together in a monogamous, committed situation, it talks about sort of generational happiness, a family situation, generational wealth, kind of making it really in terms of, sort of conventionally being a kind of happy, settled couple that have got, that have made it materially. So I do feel that this person, that the energy of this connection is that overall. But I think that with the Queen of Swords, and we bring love into the situation, that at the moment, there's just some little bit of anger, a little bit of tension here. Particularly the Strength card is a red card, and red is all about, or not all about, but it can often mean a little bit of anger, a little bit of passion, a little bit of heightened emotions. And it feels to me like this situation could be a little bit stuck at the moment, but the way it can move forward is by and it does need to move forward, and I think it will move forward in a balanced way. I think there's potential for it to move forward in a balanced way and in a more committed way, but it does require honesty. I think it does require honesty with the Queen of Swords here. It does require a frank, open, honest discussion, really. Literally like a wiping the slate clean and beginning again. And I think that's what it needs to happen. So whatever is hidden or not said or not revealed or not open needs to come out into the open. It needs to be revealed in some way. And because you have the Moon and the Queen of Swords, and then next to it with the Moon you've got the Ace of Cups, which is a brand new beginning in love, and then underneath that you've got Temperance, which is all about balance, and a need to kind of blend and mix things and get the right balance, to compromise in some way. So I think there needs to be, to move this situation into a more committed situation, there needs to be some compromise, some yielding, if you like, and that's why you've got bringing love into the situation. And it might take a little bit of strength to do that, because I feel whatever's happened, someone's a little bit, for some of you, someone's a little bit upset about that, and they need to and they might be quite justified in that, but for this to move into something, which is what we're asking, which is a committed relationship, there needs to be some leeway here, because I think, we've got the King of Pentacles here. So I think this person, the King of Pentacles is somebody who's stable, solid, grounded, reliable, dependable, strong, and he comes right next to the Justice, but he's in between the Justice and the Moon, really. So I feel like this person, wants to be that reliable, dependable partner for you. They know that that's the right thing, but there's maybe something in the situation where that hasn't been kind of happening, and it needs to now, change needs to now happen. That's why you've got, the new moon in Aquarius. Change needs to come. And there needs to be a letting go of maybe there's some past resentments, like I say, some past anger, letting go of that and moving forward and not looking back. So maybe it's just like an honest, frank discussion where you say what you want, and you make it clear, really, that this is how you want the situation to be. Because I do sense with you, pile number 2, that you are a very fair and just person, and it's really important. So anything that was kind of not open and honest would probably not sit right with you for very long, really. So maybe it's kind of come to, what I feel in this situation has kind of come to a little bit of a head, and it needs to be cleared up. And what I would say is I do feel that this situation certainly has the potential to be a committed relationship, but somebody's got to, well, there's got to be honesty, but there's got to be a little bit of yielding, a little bit of give and take, a little bit of balance, a little bit of compromise, so a little bit of hearing each other out. But just knowing that, it's about you being true to yourself. You need to be able to, be true to yourself. That's the other thing that I'm picking up in this reading. That's why I said it's important for you to be fair. It's important in this situation that you are true to yourself. I think that the energy is there for this to be a committed relationship. But what is important, I think, for you, pile number 2, is that this situation is clarified, that you are clear about what is you know, what the other person's intentions are. And I do feel that they do want to be this committed person for you. But, you know, it may be that you need to sit down with them and say, look, this needs to be cleared up kind of now. I don't want this Two of Swords anymore. I'm sick of being in this dilemma situation. We need to move on from that. We need to be strong. And I am going to, you know, I'm going to have this conversation with you, and I'm going to clear it up one way or the other. And I'm going to, you know, I'm going to move forward in whatever way that means for me. But in terms of them, I think they do, you know, they do want that. They do have this love for you with the Ace of Cups coming up twice. There is this King of Pentacles here. There is this Justice card. This might be somebody that, you know, for some of you, there might be some sort of legal issues here with the Justice card here, some kind of legal connection in some way. But with the Two of the Rose ending in the Ace of Cups and the Temperance, and also the Temperance and the Justice beginning the reading, I do feel there is a very strong potential for balance and harmony and compromise and blending and mixing and bringing it together harmoniously for this overall energy of the Ten of Pentacles, which is, you know, progress in certainly in a material way, but definitely in a kind of conventional partnership, committed, monogamous kind of way. But anyway, let's see what else we've got in terms of messages. Do we have any message cards here? Other message cards. In terms of astrological signs, obviously with the Justice card, we've got Libra. I mean, King of Pentacles could be any of the earth signs of Virgo, Taurus or Capricorn. Certainly with the moon, we've got Pisces. Two of Swords, we have got, again, that's kind of Libra, that's Libran energy right under there. So again, what was I saying? There's a strong Libran energy here, which is a need for balance, for harmony, for, you know, listening to each other, really being fair. So this Queen of Swords situation might be that there needs to be a little bit of yielding in some way. In terms of what else have we got here, let's have a little look and see. With the Strength card, obviously that's Leo. Queen of Swords could be any of the air signs of Libra, Aquarius and Gemini. Everything? Yeah, okay. Obviously with the Cups here, with the Ace of Cups coming up twice, you know, looking at some water signs of Pisces, Scorpio and Cancer. And like I say, with the Moon card, that is Pisces. So let's see what kind of message cards have we got for the general energy for this, you know, this connection the time to and their person. What have we got here? True love. Okay, well that's lovely, isn't it? So this is the romance of a lifetime. So there you go, pile number 2. We have got the Ace of Cups twice here. We have got this Justice. We have got the Ten of Pentacles. We have got the Temperance. I do feel like there's a sort of a strong potential for this, you know, this relationship to move into a more committed state. I just feel like at the moment there's a little bit of tension where there needs to be some understanding in some way, if that's what you want, you know, some bringing love into the situation. So what else have we got here for pile number 2 and the connection? What else have we got for pile number 2 and the connection? Honeymoon, my goodness. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So yeah, maybe once we can get over this little hiccup, if that's relevant for some of you, and it might not, or these messages might not be relevant for you. If they're not, then please just, you know, pick another pile, but this is what I'm feeling in this reading. Yeah, that might be, you know, that there's a restart of something, that once we have that honest conversation, once we have that heart to heart, there is a restart of something deep, or a renewal. Let's see, what else have we got for pile number 2? And it says, love yourself first. And that's interesting. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. So maybe if you are in separation from this person, and I think that some of you might be, with the Queen of Swords and the Moon here, maybe it's about taking this time to open your heart up to yourself as well. So as well as yielding to the situation, it's about yielding to yourself. Because the Ace of Cups, and it comes up twice in your reading, it's also about filling up your own cup with self-love. And when we love ourselves, you know, when we love ourselves, and have respect for ourselves, and we often vibrate in a much higher at a higher level, and then we attract something on that level as well. So maybe it's about taking some time, if you are in separation from this person, to kind of heal a little bit, and if you're not, then to kind of take time to develop habits to kind of love yourself, to heal yourself a bit, and to give yourself love. And then, you know, once you can love yourself a bit more, then often you find it easy to love others, and you become, you both become much closer, because you're actually more kind of whole in yourself, really. But anyway, pile number 2, that has been your reading. I hope that you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please do hit the subscribe button and the like button and the notifications bell, so you can be alerted to whenever I do my next reading. But other than that, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next reading. Bye for now. Hey, pile number 3, and welcome to the reading. So this is a reading around, will this connection, whatever this connection is for you, ever become a committed relationship? So you chose the beautiful blue lapis lazuli heart, and I'm just going to put that there. Now also, all of the cards have the Ace of Cups, and you chose the kind of Morgan Greer deck. That's the Ace of Cups there, so we're going to put that there. So it's a general reading, just to remind you, just take the messages that resonate. If they don't resonate, that's absolutely fine. It might be for somebody else, or you might need to listen to another pile or another reading. Just be easy with that. But I have pre-shuffled some oracle cards here, so we're going to look at those first, and then we're going to have a look at the tarot. It's a timeless reading, so it's good for whenever you're finding it. But anyway, let's get cracking and see. So this one is the Moonology deck, and this says full moon eclipse. This is one of the special moon cards, actually, and it says conclusions are within reach. So, I mean, full moons do often talk about, things being at their peak, things reaching their climax. It's kind of like a situation has kind of come to its full peak, if you like. So that might be something for you to be aware of. The full moon eclipse really is it's a kind of about change, really. It's like a situation where you've kind of done all you can. So it often talks about a situation where you've done all you can. There's nothing you can do now. You kind of just have to kind of let the universe do what it's going to do, and accept the situation, really, and to be to be kind with yourself, really, in that situation. So it's sort of like, you've done everything here. That's kind of what this card is saying. You've done everything you can. It's just really about just accepting, really. It's just about accepting what the universe kind of is, what's in flow, really, from the universe. That's kind of what this card is about. And that, the conclusions are certainly very near, very close at hand, really. So whatever this situation is, the conclusion is very close at hand. So that's kind of something that might resonate with some of you in this situation. Oh, so then we have this beautiful little card called Sweetness, and this card is all about, and it kind of goes a little bit with this here, with this sort of card of kind of acceptance and just allowing things to flow, even though that might be quite difficult. This card is about saying to you, just be kind to yourself, just accept, just be sweet to yourself, just be good to yourself. Pink is all about, the heart chakra, isn't it? Being heart-centered, being loving often towards ourselves. It has a lovely heart in the centre. Taking time to just see the sweetness, even if it's in very small things. So it might be that this situation maybe is a bit tricky for some of you, or has been a bit difficult for some of you, and this card is telling you, just try and see sweetness, try and see goodness, try and see love in the little things, because that will help you on a day-to-day basis, really. Just about, taking time, literally taking time to kind of smell the roses, just to be good to yourself, to be kind to yourself. But anyway, let's see what the tarot says. So we are asking today, aren't we, with pile number 3 in their person, is this connection ever going to be a committed relationship? Oh, well, there you go. The Ace of Cups. Now, the Ace of Cups, and we also have the Ace of Cups here. Now, that's come out straight away. The Ace of Cups came out twice in pile number 2. So if you are attracted to pile number 2, for whatever reason, you might want to listen to pile number 2. So that's very significant. So you've got the Ace of Cups there. So is the relationship between pile number 3 and their person ever going to materialise into a committed relationship? Oh, I've got a few here. So we've got a few that's come out. Let me just see. So we've got Knight of Cups. Death and Rebirth. Okay, what else have we got? Right, so it is a situation between pile number 3 and their person. I feel that one wants to come out. We've got the High Priestess. Now, but did the High Priestess, I think the High Priestess came out in pile number 1. So you might want to look at pile number 1. We've got these two here that seem to want to come out. 3, actually. So let me just see what they are. So they are the 9 of Cups. Oh my goodness. We've got the 5 of Cups. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of water in this reading. We've got Judgment. Goodness me. Is the situation between pile number 3 and their person going to become a committed relationship? We've got the King of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Knight of Swords. Okay, and the 6 of Cups. And I felt I didn't do that in the other 2 readings, but I felt the need to look at the one underneath it, and we have the 6 of Cups there. So that, I feel like I was called to kind of look at that one. So, okay, so I mean, I think what I would like to say in this situation is that there is no shortage of love in this situation. I think that's what I would probably say here, because we've got the Ace of Cups beginning it, and we had the Ace of Cups, so that is a brand new beginning love. It does also interestingly go with the sweetness about that self-love that I was talking about that need to just be kind to yourself, be good to yourself, because the Ace of Cups is also talking about filling up your own cup. So maybe this situation is a little bit testing at the moment in some way. A little bit triggering maybe for some of you in some way, I'm not really sure. Maybe you're in separation from this person with the Death and the Rebirth and the Knight of Swords, which clearly shows someone moving, I almost feel like running away quickly or moving away quickly, chasing, or quick energy, certainly quick energy, but they seem to have their back to us. So I'm wondering if you might be in separation from this person for some reason, just for some of you. But it feels to me there's not a shortage of love, because we have the Ace of Cups and then we have the 9 of Cups right underneath it. Now the 9 of Cups is about a wish fulfillment. So I definitely feel that your person sees this situation as a wish, this connection as a wish fulfillment for them. So maybe you're in separation from them, it's an ex and they want to get back with you, or maybe you're in separation because you've had a difficult you've had a bit of a row or an argument or a disconnection in some way, but they certainly see this as a major connection for them, a major relationship. There is love in this situation, and there's also a wish fulfillment. So maybe if it's a crush situation, they certainly are very attracted to you with the Knight of Cups here. So the Knight of Cups is somebody who wants to make that offer of love. You know, he's holding his red roses here. Quite a young energy. I feel that this person, for some of you, might be quite a young energy, because we've got 2 knights here. We've got the Knight of Cups and we've got the Knight of Swords. That's often quite a young energy. But I do feel that one is, it could be, we've got one here that's definitely looking directly at us, and we've got another one that's got their back to us. So maybe if it's, for some of you, what I'm feeling is that this person in their heart might want to be offering something to you, might want to be giving something to you, but for some reason, they've got their back to you at the moment, so that might be why you're not sure really, because it might be with some of you that are in separation, or you're not feeling like you're getting a lot of signs really, or something like that. That's kind of what I'm feeling. But they definitely do have these kind of very romantic feelings for you, but there's some sort of, we've got the 5 of Cups here, so that might be why I was saying that for some of you might be in separation from this person, because the 5 of Cups does talk about, does talk about loss really, it does talk about separation, does talk about somebody as well, maybe not having appreciated someone or something before, too busy focused on the past, or on past kind of negative things really, rather than focused on what could you know, the good things in the situation. So it might be something like that for some of you, that somebody has, or that something has happened in this situation where there's been some sort of separation or some past hurts. But because we also have the High Priestess here, so it does talk about, the High Priestess can talk about secrecy. So it might be for some of you that this is a situation which isn't kind of out in the open in some way, or it's hidden in some way. But there also might be a strong intuitive connection, particularly with all these cups and all this water energy. It feels like there's a strong intuitive link between the two of you. Now with the Six of Cups here, I had underneath the Knight of Swords, it feels like there's a very strong kind of like, again, this could talk about an ex situation that you're thinking about, because the Six of Cups can often be a nostalgia attached to a situation. So maybe somebody thinking now, if they did leave you, if they did go away, if they did, or if there has been a bit of a separation or something like that, they are now thinking in a very nostalgic way, in a very loving way, in a very caring way, but maybe they're not revealing that, and that might be why we have the High Priestess. So maybe this is about a connection which has to be in secret in some way, or maybe this is about a connection that you've had in the past, an ex or something like that, and it hasn't, you're wanting to know if it can be renewed, if it can come back into being a relationship. And that might be why we have the High Priestess here, where it's kind of hidden, it's not been it's not out in the open, but there's this strong, I do feel there's this kind of strong bond between you, a strong bond of love, a strong bond of past life love, a strong bond of soul kind of connection. It feels like a very soul connection. It feels like a wish fulfillment, but there's, a little bit of heartache in this, a little bit of, and again with the Death card here, so maybe there was something that went on, a separation, like I say, but this is about death and rebirth. So I definitely feel that you might not be aware of it, but this person, I feel, definitely wants a kind of renewal with you, a renewed relationship with you, a judgment, because we're underneath the death and rebirth, we have judgment, which is a rising up, a calling up, a leveling up to something better. So if you had something with this person, you're in separation from them, or this, where you've had a little bit of an argument, or something has happened, this person does want a change, they want a renewal, they want something better with the Judgment card here. And I feel like with the Knights here, so maybe there was some immature energy before, but now we have the King of Wands. And so the King of Wands is somebody who's very powerful, very charismatic, very a real, he's a real manifester. So I feel like he wants to manifest it in some way, but it's being kept. I still feel like in some ways it's being kept secret. I feel like that they want this to have, they want this relationship to emerge and to to grow and to be a committed, but it's kind of like there's a bit of secrecy around it still. But I feel like, there's still this kind of like there's still this kind of secrecy to it. So maybe at the moment they just don't feel like they can be open, or they're not sure how you will receive them if they say they want to have a committed relationship with you. I certainly feel that they want it, but they're unsure, I think, maybe about how you will receive it. And that might be because we've got the Five of Cups here, so maybe something went on before and there was a bit of hurt and a bit of loss. With the Knight of Cups here, sometimes the Knight of Cups, they can be a little bit flirty. They can be a little bit, although they say the right things and they do all the lovely romantic things, and they, sometimes they can have a little bit, I know this, everybody talks about the Knight of Wands, but I always feel sometimes the Knight of Cups can be a little bit like that. So if something went on before where there was something happened and you got a little bit upset or a little bit hurt by that, they now want to be this King of Wands, who again, wands can be, sometimes they are a little bit, the players of the deck, but because he's a king, that's more like the Knight of Wands. I would say with the King of Wands, they're much more mature, but they are very passionate, very fiery, very charismatic. But I do feel with all the other cups in the deck that there is a lot of that there is a lot of love in this situation, but it's something about, you know, I feel like a conclusion will emerge with this conclusions are within reach. I feel like maybe something come to a head, or something's coming to a head. Maybe they ran, or maybe somebody ran away from the situation because they were frightened of commitment, or frightened of getting close, or you know, and that was a source of disappointment. But with the Six of Cups underneath it, it just makes me feel that they see the situation now in a very kind of nostalgic way, in a very soul connection kind of way, and I feel that they would like to make it. They would like to come back into the situation in a more kind of committed way, really. But let's see what these cards have here. Okay, so what messages do we have for the connection, the relationship with pile number 3 and their person? What messages is there here for the relationship with pile number 3 and their person? Romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So yes, and maybe, you know, this is about an ex, or this is about something that hasn't yet been revealed with the High Priestess, and you're wondering, you know, and there's been a bit of to-ing and fro-ing, so maybe they've come in, they've come out, you know, one minute you think they like you, then they don't. So there definitely is romantic feelings here that we can be definitely sure of. Okay, and I think with the Six of Cups here, you know, they want that, they do feel a strong bond with you, definitely. But it might be that they've given you some mixed energy. There might be a lot of mixed energy that they've given to you in the past, you know, where one minute you've been the wish fulfillment, and then they've, you know, and then you're not sure where you are with them. That might be what's going on here as well. Okay, what else have we got for pile number 3 and their person? And this says pay attention to the red flags. And what have I just said about the mixed energy? So I feel there is love in this situation. I feel there's a lot of love in this situation. There's a lot of deep feelings in this situation. There's a lot of, but I feel like in some ways the cards are also saying to you, you know, you've done everything you can in this situation. That this person, if they're giving you mixed energy, it's kind of it's their bag, really. It's them, really. I do feel like with this Knight of Swords that there might have been a lot of running away in this situation. But it's funny because deep down I do feel that they know that this connection is a strong, loving soul connection, and then they want this, you know, that they want this kind of rising up. But it might have been that there's been a lot of to-ing and fro-ing, and maybe you're at the point where you're just thinking, like, I've had enough of this. And that might be why we have the Sweetness card here, where you need to really look after yourself, and the 2 Ace of Cups, where you need to bring your self-love and heal yourself here in some way. But let's have one other card here. So another message for pile number 3 and their person. I feel like these 2 want to come out. What do they say? Oh my goodness, so we've got wedding, and then we've got codependency. So again, it goes with what I was saying, I think, that this person has a lot of mixed energy. So you might have come to this point of the conclusions are within reach, or full moon in eclipse, where it's kind of like, you know, you just got to let the universe do what it does, because this person has possibly been giving you a lot of mixed messages. And it's really odd because I do feel deep down that there is a lot of love in this situation. But I think with these cards, maybe it's saying to you, pile number 3, that it's really about you kind of deciding whether you want to put up with this, really. I do feel that in their heart they would love to have this kind of like committed relationship with you, but I think that there is this tendency for this kind of mixed energy with them. So maybe their moods are sometimes up, maybe their moods are sometimes down, but it's not that they don't have those feelings for you, that they don't, you know, they don't have a desire for that, but maybe it's just something that they find, that commitment, they find commitment difficult, even though the desire is there to want to try that. And that might be why there's been a lot of to-ing and fro-ing where they've tried, But you know, it might be because the wedding and the codependency are two very different energies. They're sort of like, wedding is about a committed energy, and then codependency is about a difficult pattern in a relationship. And that's what I was saying. There might be a little bit of, you know, because it comes right under the pay attention to the red flags. So I think for you, this situation is coming to a head. You've done all you can, really. It's really up to, you know, it's really now for you to just kind of trust in the universe for whatever's going to happen to be the right thing. And that might mean moving forward independently, but it's not from a lack of feeling on their part. But people can have lots of loving feelings for you, but still behave, you know, in ways that are just not acceptable in a relationship. And that's something might be that you need to be aware of. But there are certainly some deep kind of feelings here, some deep connections in this situation. Let's have a look to see what the astrological signs here are. So we have, so obviously with the Nine of Cups, that is Pisces energy. With the Five of Cups, then that is Scorpio energy. So again, there's quite a lot of water signs here. With the Ace of Cups, so that could be any of the water signs of Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. The Knight of Cups is the same. I think the Knight of Cups is more sort of Pisces, kind of, I would put that as more sort of Pisces energy. Obviously with the King of Wands, again, that could be any one of the fire signs of Aries, Leo and Sagittarius. Knight of Swords, so that could be you know, any of the air signs of Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. But I do feel with the Six of Cups here, the Six of Cups could be again, that's kind of like Scorpio energy. So I do feel there's a lot of water in this reading, and when you have a lot of water, so there's a lot of intuition, there's a lot of deep feeling, there's a lot of connection, and that's what I think you've got everything like that going on in this connection. There's a lot of you know, often can be a lot of kind of, I feel like a very deep soulful connection. But I suppose what we are missing is the Pentacles, really, which is all about, isn't it? It's all about, Pentacles is about hard, tangible kind of commitment. So I feel that in their heart, this person would love to have that committed relationship with you. But what I'm sensing, having looked at all the cards and all the message cards, is that there is a sort of a kind of desire for that, so wanting to come towards you to offer that, but then being scared. So with all the kind of water, you know, emotions might be quite high, they might be quite low at times. So there's not a sort of there's not a kind of like, there's not a foundation, a firm sort of foundation that is kind of very earthy, if you know what I mean. There's not a sort of tangibility to it. So it's really about you knowing that they care very deeply for you, but in terms of their actual ability to commit, I think they want to do that in their heart, but in a what I want to say is in a practical way, on a day-to-day way. I think that they would find that hard, and that their energy is mixed around that their energy is up and down around that. Sometimes they have the desire to do that, and sometimes they don't. And I think that you have done, there's nothing that, what I would say to you is that there's nothing much you can do about this situation. You know, you've done everything you can. You know, it's not really anything, you know, it's, in many ways it's about kind of accepting that, and deciding what you want to do with it, really, whether you want to stay involved with a person or whether you don't want to stay involved with this person. Because I feel in a sort of tangible, conventional way, commitment is probably going to be quite hard for them, but they would love to stay in a relationship with you or a connection with you because they feel a lot of love towards you. But, you know, I just sense that it's possibly going to be, yes, you're my soulmate, but you know, I'm not sure that I can commit fully to you in a kind of practical, tangible way. But anyway, pile number 3, that has been, and underneath that has wanted to slip out, is the Nine of Swords. Okay, so the Nine of Swords does talk about separation, loss. It can talk about worry. It can talk about stress. So maybe in this situation you're feeling a lot of worry, a lot of stress. And what I want to say to you, pile number 3, is that you have done everything you can in this situation. It is time now. That's kind of what I want to say to you. My parting message is it's time now to look after you. With the Sweetness card here, and the Ace of Cups coming up twice, it's time now to give yourself love in this situation, to look after yourself, to know that you've done all that you can, and to focus with, you know, the full moon eclipse, to focus on, you know, on the change that is inevitable in this situation, the change that is coming, and to kind of go with that, really. And to kind of know that you've done everything you can, and to be kind to yourself in this situation. But anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for you, pile number 3. I hope it's made sense to you. If it has, then please do hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next reading. Bye for now.